Well, guys, I guess I'm a Christian nationalist for believing that our rights come from God and not from government. They are inalienable, they are innate. God, our Creator, has given us our rights and not government. They are not privileges that are granted from government. I want you to watch this segment from an MSNBC anchor which puts in mind exactly what happens when a nation is ignorant of its own history. Watch this and then we'll talk about it.
One thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalists is very different, is that they believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God. The one thing that unites...
Righteousness alone can exalt America as a nation. And whoever thou art, remember this, and in thy sphere practice virtue itself and encourage it in others. You know who said that? Patrick Henry. You know, the famous Virginia statesman, the former governor of Virginia, the son of liberty who gave the famous "Give me liberty or give me death" speech. He said that in an addendum to the Stamp Act. That sounds pretty Christian nationalist, doesn't it? According to this person. That sounds pretty fundamentalist, doesn't it? It almost sounds like he's quoting scripture. You know, a big part of the problem today is the American people are so ignorant of who we are, of our foundations. There wouldn't be an America if it wasn't for Christianity. We, my friends, are a covenant nation. Those are words you may never have heard spoken before. But the Pilgrims, when they came over, made a covenant with God, the God of the Bible, that America would be a new Israel. That was their beliefs. You don't have to like it, but that's what it was. And we have failed to uphold our end of the covenant. I pray for a restoration. I pray that we remember who we are. I pray that we remember that we are a republic and that a republic would not exist. A constitutional republic would not exist if it wasn't for a moral and religious people. I'm summarizing John Adams there. I'm going to post a link down below so you can read words from the founding fathers, not mine, about what they thought about the important role that Christianity played in giving us our republic, the pure virtues of Christianity. These are not the words of some college professor. These are the words of the men who created the system of government that we now live under. The problem is not with the republic. The problem is that we are ignorant as a nation. We have forgotten who we are. And because of that, we have elected people who don't represent the values that created the nation in the first place. We have forgotten the words of wisdom of George Washington, of Thomas Jefferson, of Patrick Henry, of Benjamin Rush. A lot of you probably don't even know who Benjamin Rush is. He was a signer of the Declaration of Independence from Pennsylvania, a doctor. He advocated for teaching the Bible in public schools. Yes, that's something they did back then. Now, that may make a lot of you feel icky. But that is the reason, my friends, that we were able to maintain a constitutional republic for so long. But we have forgotten the God that gave us it. We have forgotten. We've been told the wrong story. You know, there's a line in the movie Walk the Line, the biographical film about country music artist Johnny Cash, in which young Johnny Cash is having a conversation with his brother. And he was very close to his brother Jack. And his brother Jack was studying to be a preacher. And he asked him something along the lines of this. He said, "Jack, how come you know the Bible so well?" And he said, "Well, I'm studying to be a preacher. I have to know the Bible front to back. You can't help people, JR, if you don't know the right story." That's our problem. We don't know the right story. We think today, most of us, that America was founded by a bunch of racist white slaveholders. We don't know the context. We don't know that many of our founders were abolitionists. Yes, Benjamin Franklin was an abolitionist. John Adams was an abolitionist. John Hancock held celebrations in which all the slaves in the area would get together with the white men once a year, and everybody was treated as an equal. And that was in the South. That was in Virginia. But we don't know that. We don't know that many of the founders who had slaves, and this is not an acceptance speech for slavery, but we don't know the cultural context. We don't know that Thomas Jefferson went broke and lived in poverty just about because he tried to take care of his slaves, because Virginia law wouldn't allow him to let the slaves go free. We don't know that even the founders who had slaves, because people like to bring that up all the time, tried their best to change the law so they could allow their slaves to go free. They knew it was wrong. Many of them, Jefferson included, predicted that there would eventually be a civil war because of this. And there was. People don't know that anymore. People don't know that the Jefferson Bible, I ought to do a video on that. I'll tell you the correct name. It's not a Bible. It is the Life and Morals of Jesus of Nazareth. Now, a lot of people will tell you that that book was Jefferson going through the Bible and cutting out all the miraculous references to the miracles of Christ and his supernatural abilities because he didn't believe in that. No. Read it for yourself. I have one. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a video on it soon because I have one and I want you to see this for yourself. What Jefferson did was take the scripture of the moral teachings of Jesus Christ and cut them out and paste them all together in one book. That's all he did. You know why he did that? He gave it to reverends at the time who were evangelizing the Indians, because before that they were giving them a whole Bible, and he said, no, that's going to confuse them. You start them out reading the Old Testament, they're going to get very confused. So the best way to introduce a new Christian to the scriptures is to start them off with the words of Christ. That would sound very Christian nationalist, wouldn't it, according to this commentator? I want to take you back through some of that stuff, and I will in future episodes, because I'm so passionate about teaching American history. That is the fundamental problem. That is why stuff like this is allowed to fly on television. If your average American could remember who we are and knew who we were and knew the foundations of our republic, they could refute it. There would be no need for people like me. My prayer is that we will remember who we are and have a hunger and a thirst for what is good, for what is pure, and for what is true. You know why people like this MSNBC anchor are afraid of Christian nationalists? It's because they know that when we know our rights come from God and are not privileges granted from government, that they can't control us anymore. That it restores the proper balance of power. Our politicians should be afraid of us. They work for us. We have the power. And if we humble ourselves and submit to the will of God, then we're dangerous in their eyes because we can't be controlled. Please like this video and share it. I want this message to get out to as many people as possible so that we can help wake this country up. Let's start a revolution. And please subscribe to my channel for more content like this. I'll see you in the next video.